Question?
Yeah, go. Let's start with questions.
If you could just comment on the trade and I guess finally completing the deal.
Yeah, it's been in the works a little bit. Part of it due to Marco's physical recovery. Really, that's the large part as to why it was delayed. Dealing with someone like Marco is difficult. He's obviously a really good person, and I actually, when I was an agent, I actually co-represented him, so there's a relationship there too. But it helps us with our cap situation, and as far as what we got in return, it was classified as future considerations, but it's nothing, and part of that speaks to the trading him now versus trading him later on in the year, which we could have done also, but in fairness to Marco, it'd be good to allow him to begin his journey, so to speak, at a place that is a good landing spot for him. Dean Lombardi drafted him, he knows him quite well, and they were looking for a player like that.
Difficult also to trade a player of his caliber. I mean, it was, I guess, inevitable that you had to make a move.
Yeah. I mean, he's a good player. He's a really good player, and there's obviously been a lot of speculation on what move that we were going to do and what player, and again, a difficult thing that we had to do, but part of the reality of the salary cap, and it's completed now. So, well, it's conditionalized on a medical examination. So, but I don't anticipate a problem there.
How did you get him to waive his no trade clause?
I just spoke to him.
What did you say to him? How did you?
Well, that'll remain between Marco and myself, but he agreed to waive it.
Why did you ultimately feel that move with Marco versus other options? Maybe moving piece here to make room for him. Why did you feel that?
Well, it was about timing too, Fluto. Here's a team where there was a prior relationship with Marco, and they got him for cheap, and they wanted to do it now. So there was a lot of positive factors in the circumstances that we felt that we had to act on. So that's the main reason.
So you say nothing as a future consideration, no sort of no draft picks or anything if he performs well, nothing.
Yeah. So keep in mind the value of cap space. And that's what you have to keep in perspective. I'm not trying to justify trading for nothing. I mean, of course, you'd like to get a return for a good player, but I mean that's really being able to do it now versus later.
When you're doing that,
both sides.
When you're doing that and combining it with trading a player that's coming off injury too, I imagine.
There's a lot of different factors here that made the deal a sensible deal at this time.
Do you have to get any kind of approval? I don't know that I've heard of a trade for nothing before. I mean, do you have to? Obviously, it's legal to do that. But.
Yeah. No. Whenever you see future considerations, it's usually nothing. In fact, it always is nothing. It used to be that you could stipulate prior to, I think, 2 CBAs ago, you could stipulate for a player in the future. There was remember there was Gear was involved in a deal like that in Colorado. That got sacked too. Yeah.
Do you consider yourself now, the team, the organization, out of the salary cap wood, so to speak, after making this deal? I mean, do you feel pretty good about where you are going forward now?
Yeah. I mean, we've in the last when did we trade Matt? A week and a half ago. We've cleaned out our cap situation pretty nicely, so I'm comfortable where we are right now.
So where are you?
We're cap compliant now.
Okay. Do you have room to make add somebody, some
check
ballpark?
capgeek.com.
Yeah. Okay. That's what I'm getting at.
So could you just sum up Marco's legacy here?
Yeah, he's first and foremost a very good person. Speed. He's obviously part of that big trade, and he gave us speed. He gave us timely goals. I think he'll be remembered. One of the things he'll be remembered for is that goal against Montreal. I mean, you could see the emotion when he he scores, and that's what he brought to the team. And so those are some of the things that guys would remember about Marco.
And the fact that you have like NHL depth maybe at his position, does that factor into what he's?
Yeah. I mean, like how our younger players have been playing, and there's a lot of variables that go into a decision like this. And timing is one, depth is another. There's a lot of things that go into this decision, but that certainly helps the depth we have.
Is he going to be close to getting ready for them?
I would say he's maybe 5 to 7 days away.
And is that one of the reasons why it didn't go through last week?
It was, yeah.
Do you know what his physical is? I mean, is it just?
Yeah.
Is it?
Shortly.
Sure.
Yeah.
So.
Two more guys, if there are two more.
Any other moves that you have on the horizon to address not cap stuff, but just team needs or anything on the horizon, or is that stuff?
Again, Joe, I'm not going to speak to moves I'm going to make or not, but what I can tell you is I'm going to take a step back now for a little bit.
He had expressed maybe some frustration or disappointment about the limbo situation he had been. Is that?
What situation?
Well, just kind of being in limbo this past week.
Yeah, and I can understand that. After having waived it, yeah. It's tough to make a trade in this league. Really, it is. Especially at an early juncture like this. Everyone is so tightly packed, and I got to give Dean credit for, acting on this because he's getting a good player for nothing in return, and he's familiar with the player, and he's proactive.
How important was it just not alter any of the other team structure when you were dealing with this cap thing? How vital was that to pull in something?
Well, and you're gonna alter it somehow, Joe. I mean, like we were able to do at least the rationale behind dealing that would have been depth. What Mike was speaking of, depth and defense, and the young guys are coming along. Jordan Caron and even Jamie O'Neill and guys like that down there, Joe Colbert. I mean, these guys they're coming. So but anytime you trade a guy like Marco, he's a real good person. He's a great guy, and so that's going to have some impact at some point. That's why I've been trying to be as transparent as possible with you. I know you guys probably chuckle at that, but it's because I want to make sure the messaging gets to the team too.
Thanks, everybody.